right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk a little bit about inequalities. And I think I broke it down into 3 different sections for us. I think we'll do 2 videos today and 1 video the next class period. So our first set of notes are going to be our inequality basics. Hopefully I don't throw anything new at you that you haven't seen before, but if I do, hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so solving an inequality is very similar to solving for a variable. Okay, it's the same steps, same everything. Okay, so everything that we've done last week in terms of solving for x, that's exactly what we're going to do when we solve for a variable, okay, or use in our inequalities. So we have 4 different inequality signs. Those signs look like this. Okay, so real quick, what these mean, because a lot of people, they know the signs, they just, forget what they mean or little things like that. So this is less than. This is greater than. Okay, so we have less than, greater than, less than, or equal to. And this one is greater than. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you with a couple of these examples that these are exactly the same as solving for a variable. We're going to do the same steps, like I said, same everything. So our first example, we have 6 minus x is less than or equal to negative 14. Okay, so using our inverse operations that we talked about last week, the first thing I see is that minus sign. So an inverse operation tells me that I'm going to take that minus sign and I'm actually going to add to both sides. Okay, so we have to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Okay, so when I add 6 to both sides, these are going to zero out. So I have x is less than or equal to negative 14 plus 6 is negative 8. Okay, see, same steps. The only thing that's different is that inequality sign so far. Okay, looking at, and I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, she said so far. Looking at example number 2, we have x divided by 3 is greater than 3. Okay, so whenever there's a fraction, that's a division problem. Okay, the opposite of division is multiplication. So I know that I'm actually going to multiply by 3. So, Stark, how did you know which one to multiply by? We multiply by whatever we divide by. So if we divide by 3, we have to multiply by 3. Okay? So if I multiply by 3 on this side, I still have to multiply by 3 on this side. Okay? So then we get 3 is 1, x is greater than 9. Okay? Do I have to write the 1 there? No. So I can leave it, x is greater than 9. Okay, either of those would work. Okay? Okay, negative 3x is greater than 3. Okay, I was going to try and solve it and then have it be wrong and all that fun stuff, but, there's the catch. Okay, so let me tell you what the catch is. The catch is when we multiply or divide by a negative number, okay, multiply or divide by a negative number, the inequality switches direction. Okay, so the catch, when we multiply or divide by a negative, the inequality switches direction. Okay, so let me show you what I mean with this, this one right here. This negative 3x is greater than 3. So I do see that it's multiplication. We have a coefficient and a variable. So it's multiplying, so I have to divide. So if I divide by negative 3 here, I have to divide by negative 3 here, right? So when I divide, I get 1x, and then 3 divided by negative 3 is negative 1. But this symbol, this greater than symbol, is actually going to change to a less than symbol. Okay, so notice how all it did was change directions. So we have x is less than negative 1. So either of these are acceptable. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some two steps. And now some of these are going to have some negatives, so we're going to, hopefully figure these ones out. The first thing that I notice about this, yes, is the inequality symbol, and I know that freaks out some people, but I see this distributing. Just a reminder, distributing means that we multiply. Okay, so everything inside these parentheses is going to be multiplied by a negative 3. Okay, so negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3, less than or equal to negative 18. Okay, so I distributed, and now I'm going to do my steps. I see that we have a subtraction sign. So remember, our goal is to get x entirely by itself. We want to get x by itself. So if I see a minus sign, I have to do the opposite, so I'm going to add 3. Okay, so we have negative 3x is less than or equal to negative 15. And so divide by negative 3. And because I'm dividing by a negative, that inequality has to switch. So it actually becomes greater than or equal to. So it flips directions, okay? Flips. So we get x, or 1x, and negative 15 divided by negative 3 is actually positive 5. Okay? And looking at problem number 2, a lot of people for some reason struggle when the problems are written this way. So I figured I'd work one out for you. Even though it's an inequality, it's the same idea. Okay, so I notice we have division, and then we have this random 4. And you guys like it when that x divided by 3, it comes first. And don't get me wrong, I like it like that too, but sometimes we can't always get what we want. All right, so first thing I notice is this 4 is a positive 4. If it were a negative 4, there'd be a negative sign in front of it. Okay, so I know it's a, sorry guys. I know it's a positive 4. Okay, so in order to get it to the other side of that inequality, we're going to subtract 4. Okay, so they actually will zero out on this side, so we get x over 3 is less than 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, we have a division problem. So opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply by 3, my fault. And so we're also going to multiply by 3 on that side as well. All right. So we get x is less than 6. Okay. Now notice this time we didn't actually, I'm just having problems today. Notice this time we didn't actually have to switch the inequality symbol because we didn't multiply or divide by a negative number. Okay? All right, and the last two questions that I have for you, or two examples I should say, these are multi-step inequalities. All right, so we're going to do multiple steps to get our variable by itself. All right. So let me switch to a smaller pen because because I don't want to take up too much room. Okay, so written exactly the way I know you guys love it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this -6 and I'm going to distribute it to everything inside the parentheses. Okay, so -3, -6 times 4x is -24x, and 6 times -6 is -36, is greater than -111. Okay, so let me grab a calculator because mental math is not my thing. Not gonna lie to you guys. So I'm gonna combine like terms, and remember, to combine like terms means we're going to add them together. Okay, so example, we'll use this problem because it's perfect. No. Those are my constants. There's my variable. So I see that I only have one variable. So I have this -24x, but now I need to combine -3 and -36. So when I combine these like terms in the calculator, -3 plus -36, I want to add them together because think about it. When you combine things or you combine ingredients, you're adding them all together. Okay, so just because they're negative doesn't mean I can't add them together. So hit enter, -39. Okay, so -24x minus 39 is greater than -111. Okay, so now we're back to the types of problems that we know. Okay, so I'm going to add 39 to both sides. So these zero out. So I have -24x is greater than -111 plus 39 is -72. Okay. But to get x by itself, I need to divide by -24. -24. So I already know because I am dividing by this negative here that this symbol is going to change direction. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and change it. Okay, I just went ahead and flipped it. So we have x on this side, so -72 divided by -24 is 3. So my final answer is x is less than 3. Awesome. Okay, and looking at question 2, notice instead of x I have an r. I thought I'd switch it up on you a little bit. Let's just go ahead. There are a couple of different ways we can do this. In fact, I saw one of you guys do this last week. Before you even distributed, you said, Stark, I don't like the fact that this random 7 is hanging out here, so I want to get rid of it. Okay, move it to the other side of the inequality. You don't have to distribute first if this plus 7 is going to confuse you. So just go ahead and subtract 7 from both sides. Okay, so we have 5 times 6 plus 3r is less than or equal to 120. Okay. So I just went ahead and subtracted the 7, and now we're going to distribute. Okay. So 5 times 6 is 30 plus 15r is greater than or equal to 120. Okay, so we want to get r by itself. So remember, this is a positive 30. If it wasn't, there would be a negative sign in front of it. So I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides. So those zero out. So we have 15r is greater than or equal to 120 minus 30 is 90. Okay, so to get r by itself, we're going to divide by 15. And notice I'm dividing by a positive number. Okay, so because we're dividing by a positive number, we don't have to switch the inequality sign. So r is greater than or equal to 90 divided by 15 is 6. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Your practice problems are all on Canvas.